Just have, we have to recall it, just recall it as office hours?
Mm-hmm. We could do that in our office, what you would just say after lunch, say at 1:30, like today is, we are reconvening for office hours. And then at 5 o'clock, just from your desk, we're going to adjourn.
Okay.
There's no decision, so there's no need for a minute taker. Public is all welcome to come in and chat with us, watch us work, whatever they like to do. Or, you know, we just make it standard practice that we're gonna be in the office Mondays after our meetings until 5, and it's not on the agenda. It's kind of the same difference, but it's just a way of further informing the public, nothing more than that. So practice wouldn't be any
Well,
different.
if you think about it, I mean, it's always how things are perceived.
Exactly,
And
yeah,
I'll have to think about that.
yeah,
Okay.
all right. And I think that's absolutely fair, and with any change too, there's always changing pains. What did you not see? What are the pitfalls that hit you that you just didn't expect? Or, well, we didn't think this would work that well. It could go either way. So that's all I have on that.
Yes, Tim?
Mr. Chairman, just to make sure we're on the front page here, are you in a position at this point in time to put that on the next meeting's agenda to have that discussed, or is that going to be kicked down the road a little further? Because we need to make sure that the people are involved, especially as part of our local paper and people that follow that. Because if we change the agenda opportunity for the paper, making that basically void, that's going to be a challenge to make sure that those folks that are not online get a chance to make sure that they're on the front page as well. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to know if we're going to have that on the agenda.
I would think that we would have that on the agenda to do that.
As part of the policy, yeah.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
one of the things I've recommended to you guys last year is that you actually separate your offices, and I think there's room in the building to do that. I honestly feel like that would be the best approach for both to safeguard yourselves, and certainly the public would know that you know, you're working individually and there's not going to be any inadvertent meetings, discussions, things like that that would violate that right to know. I think you can do it in the space that's available and really at no cost.
So Corey, do you see an issue with us having this basically open office meeting after this meeting? Just have the commissioner's office open in the afternoon with all 3 commissioners on Monday afternoon, so department heads and people can come and we would make no decisions. It would simply allow us to have discussions like the other day we had the head of the solid waste board came in to discuss things with solid waste.
Well, so
I mean, it's
almost
still
like an open house.
It's open house, it's open to the public. So do we adjourn our commissioners meeting and then we just have office hours that we open and adjourn them, or how do we handle that process? Or do we just leave our meeting open until 5?
Well, I mean, if you've got folks if you just have members of the public that want to come in, right, you can do, I think there was a suggestion for an evening meeting. I know we tried that once before, where it was basically a Monday night at 6, and anyone that wants to show up can show up. And it really is just people giving information to the public. I know we've done that down south a couple times. Or sorry, the public giving information to the commission. If you've got someone that's one of your boards or one of your department heads that they know they want to give you information, I think it makes sense to put that on an agenda so people know that's what's going to be discussed. The whole issue is giving the public information about what's going to be discussed and decided upon, because if you're not, you know, if it's so unclear that people that really have an interest in solid waste, they have no way of knowing if it's just open house or whatever you call it, that solid waste is going to be discussed that day. So they can't either get there or send an email or something. So my recommendation is to make it as transparent as you can by scheduling those things and putting them on the agenda. If there is something that's going to be an open house, that should really be for members of the public. If it's somebody that's a county employee, department head, board, that you know that you're getting information from them that you may need to act upon, and you know that they may be giving you information that's of interest to the public, it would be best to go ahead and advertise that. I mean, so like in my cases, right? We can't have what we call ex parte communication with the judge about a case. So if I decided just to set up for hours and work in the same office in the judge's chambers with the judge, it would be really hard for me to do that without, intentionally or unintentionally discussing a case. It'd be pretty much impossible. So we make a point of, we just stay away from each other. Now, after court, before court, we do socialize with judges, but we don't talk about cases that are, that I have before that judge. And the defense lawyer is often usually there too, because the judges want to get to know us. And so we do that in a way where we ensure that we aren't putting ourselves in an ethical trap. And then there's been times when a judge has, unbidden, said something about a case to me. And you know what I do? I make a point of immediately contacting the defense lawyer and saying, hey, I ran into the judge, he or she said this, just wanted to let you know. I just feel like that way I know that I don't have to worry about any accusations that would come my way. And I've got to protect myself from that. I would recommend you guys do the same.
Well, I know in part of our training, that was part of it, and I remember them talking about if we want to be the test bed for any type of legal action because of this situation. So I think it's something that we maybe need to pursue and see if that's something we can do. And as far as for like separating our offices, I'm okay with that. As far as for the open office hours, open to the public, I really do strongly feel that it needs to be on the agenda so that people do know that and what we're doing as part of the transparency thing. And make sure they understand that no decisions are being made, it's simply just a forum, a place for them where we can discuss things. Because I think it's hard a lot of times to come to these meetings here, we're limited on time a lot of times, to discuss everything that needs to happen. And it's a good opportunity for them to come in and for us also to be better informed to bring that forward to you guys or to the public.
More of a town
So-
hall kind of,
Yeah?
Sure.
Yeah.
Town hall meeting,
Yeah.
basically.
I mean,
so let's call it a town hall.
yeah, I think something like that probably could work. So,
That way there would be no agenda and the public could just about comment on anything
Sure.
and we could discuss everything without a decision being made.
and they know that we'll be there.
And then the next meeting would have it on the agenda.
Sure.
Do you have a comment, Tim?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tim Ravendall, just wanted to just kind of reiterate where we're at here with the comments that Mr. Fulford just made. Transparency is really essential to keep the people engaged in our local government and the public trust on the table where it needs to be. And we've had many cases, not just here in Broadwater County, but across Montana, when the three commissioners of a local government or a city council are meeting in public where the quorum is in place. Questions, whether they're right, wrong, or indifferent, come to the surface on decisions being made without an agenda, making sure that the people have that opportunity. We don't want to go down that road. Transparency is essential to avoid that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other comments? I guess we will adjourn until 1:30 for the closed door personnel issues legal strategy, Teamsters versus Broadway County. Yes, Tim?
Just real quick, Mr. Chairman, I have not seen the agenda, so the closed door meeting is in regards to legal strategy.